Hi, my name is Tom and welcome to On a Student Budget. Today we're going to be doing a triple headphone comparison from three of the top portable headphones from Sennheiser. On my left here you have the Sennheiser Momentum on over-ear headphones, which I'm just going to call the over-ears from now on. In the middle you have the Sennheiser Amp-ears. On my right you have the Sennheiser on-ears, which I'm just going to call the on-ears from now on. So I have more videos on my channel regarding which I'm going to review all of these headphones. I'm going to be reviewing the bass, the mid-range, the treble, the soundstage, and just basically at the end I'm going to say which one did I like the best out of the three. And I'm going to use the video as a visual representation to kind of rank from best to worst, I guess you could say. But all three I think are fantastic headphones, and I think a lot of people would be very happy to even have one of them. So I feel very lucky to be doing this. Okay, so starting from the bass, in terms of bass quantity, so just how much bass each of these headphones have, I would say I would put it in this fashion. The on-ears have the absolute most bass out of all three of these headphones. The second one would be the over-ears, and then the last one would be the Amp-ears, which have the least amount of bass. All of these have more bass than neutral. This is just nearing bass head level, I would say. In terms of bass tightness, so how tight the bass is if you're listening to very complex bass lines and more complex music, I would put it in this category. The cables are going to get very tangled at the end of this. The Amp-ears have the absolute tightest bass I have ever heard in any headphone. It's ridiculous. It reproduces bass lines marvelously. It never has any sort of distortion, and it's just so clean. The middle would be the over-ears, and the last would be the on-ears, which I find has a sort of a looseness to the bass on it, which doesn't lend well if you're listening to faster music and tends to drone a little bit. In terms of mid-range, I would put it in this category. Just because in terms of just naturalness in the mid-range, the Momentum over-ears are just so natural. They reproduce human voices so well, just male and female vocals. I prefer male vocals on these headphones just because it has a little more emphasis in the lower mid-range. The Amp-ears will be right in the middle, but it's a very aggressive mid-range. It's forward, so female vocals tend to sound brighter. I would say I actually like female vocals on this. It's like overall this is just a more aggressive sounding headphone. I like the Momentum on-ears the least because the mid-range is just much more recessed compared to the bass and the treble. It's still very clear, very good in that regard, but just if I had to compare between these three, I would have to put that at last. In terms of treble, I would put it just in quantity wise, similar to the bass, I would put it in this fashion. The Amp-ears have definitely the most treble. It's the brightest headphones of the bunch. The Amp-ears. So some people actually say the Amp-ears are too bright sometimes. I actually find it just a tad bit brighter than what I like, but it's well extended. This one, the on-ears have a more crisper, more funner treble than the over-ears. And the last I would say would be the over-ears. The over-ears have extended treble. It's fairly extended treble. It rolls off at the end. It's a more smoother, more relaxing treble. It's the kind of treble where you just pull up a chair at home and just listening in your living room, just melting away. That's the kind of treble you get. It's a more relaxing listen. In terms of overall sound stage width, like how big the sound stage is, I would put it in this fashion here. The Momentum over-ears have the most expansive soundstage and the most realistic 3D soundstage out of the bunch. The Momentum on-ear has a very wide soundstage, but it tends to be a little more 2D and flat. It's very impressive for an on-ear headphone. The smallest would be the Amp-ears, which it sounds like it's right in your head. It doesn't sound expansive at all. I would say but it places instruments very well within that small space. The On-ears tend to sound a little more diffuse. And again, this is expansive, it's 3D, it's realistic, it's and it places instruments very well, very precise as well. So overall, I would say like I would say I prefer personally these two headphones, the Momentum over ears and the Amperes. I would say almost on par with each other, with the Momentum over ears just slightly edging the Ampere ears out in terms of overall sonic performance, because I like a more balanced sound signature. I don't like I'm not particularly flat all the way through, but I do like a little more bass, so that's why the over ears sound great to me. I do wish there is a little extra treble just to make it just more open sounding, and the treble had a little more energy. But the Amperes have that extra treble energy, has that, but it does sound a little bright sometimes, and the bass does not extend as well as this, but the bass is so much tighter. It's just ridiculous. So I'm not surprised that the HD25, which this is based on, it was a DJ headphone. And I actually think since I had to put someone last, I will put the Momentum on-ears last, because I do love the treble, I do like the soundstage. It's just the bass is just a little loose for me, and the mid-range is a little too laid back. I'm not too recessed for me, and it just sounds a little too unnatural. So overall, all three headphones again are fantastic options for portable use. You definitely have to try these out to really get an idea of which one you may like. I don't know if I said this already, but the over ears are more of an all-rounder for every kind of music. It does, and some people do say it sounds kind of boring for rap and hip hop, but because it doesn't have enough bass, the on-ears solve that issue. It has plenty of bass. It sounds exciting and crisp. The Amperes are a little more of a refined listen. Everything's a little more crystalline than the on-ears. It's a little, it's clearer. But it is more aggressive, depending on, like, if you're really sensitive to high frequencies, the Amperes might not be for you, and you might be better off with the on-ears. So I think for the broader consumer market, the on-ears are a fantastic option. So if you have any questions on this triple comparison or any other headphones I own, please leave it in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those questions. If this video has helped you out, please like and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you guys